So, before we start this awesome Mukkamana video, let me just say, I love Ratchet Clank. I've been with this game since I was 6 years old, playing the original Ratchet Clank game on the PS2. So please, don't misunderstand me, guys. This critique comes from a place of love, not hate. And you can say I'm a really big veteran. I've been speedrunning, replaying these games over and over. I know my way around the Ratchet and Clank. And that's why I need to tell you why Rift Apart will mega suck. And you might be wondering, how do I know this game is gonna suck? 2 words: pattern recognition. And not to brag, but I have a master's degree in computer science. We could see a downward spiral trend starting 2007 with Todd. Right there, they started making it kid friendly and no longer had sex jokes. Kind of sad. But the saving grace, guess what? Was All for One, where they introduced new gameplay, new weapons, and sex jokes.
I did modify my crotchetizer with a special vibrating function I call the Happy Platypus.
And Insomniac just knows how much us gamers love All for One. So, what do they want to do? They want to oppress us by giving us this itsy bitsy teaser about the checkpoint thing from All for One. But where is anything else from All for One? Where is Thick Fish? Oh my lord, I love Thick Fish. They just want to show, they want to spit in our face and show what made Ratchet and Clank. We're going to throw that into the trash can and take this kid-friendly approach again. It's so sad to see they found it again with All for One and just kick it to the curb. It's crazy how someone can be so blind to the genius of All for One. It's what kept the series alive. I'm speechless. I'm speechless, guys. And All for One did something no other Ratchet game has ever done before or since. They made the villain the ally. How sick isn't that? And they don't just dabble in it, they explore it fully. They make Quark and the Affairs clash constantly, back and forth. But in the end, they work together and become friends. How sick isn't that? And let me ask you now, with this trailer, what does Insomniac do with that? They throw it right out the window. Do you hear how angry I get when I see that? Another big thing to notice is, where's Al? One of the reasons why I love Deadlocked so much is because it shows how oppressed we gamers really are.
With the glass ceiling broken, all the oppressed groups shall prosper, especially the most oppressed group of all, gamers.
For example, what happens in the opening cutscene of Ratchet and Clank Deadlocked? Ratchet swears at Al.
Me out of this thing, you blarg-headed frack monkey! I can barely breathe and my tail feels like it's shoved right up my...
And he just has to take it. Just like we gamers have to take stuff from society all the time. And 2-3 cutscenes later, what happens? Al is being sexualized, just like us gamers. And thirdly, Al is almost killed, like we gamers are almost killed all the time by society. So, let me ask Insomniac, where is the gamers' representation now that Al is gone? Now, let's touch upon one of the biggest issues I have with this game. Who's the villain? Let me hear it. Nefarious. I am so tired of Nefarious. Okay, let me help you visualize how many times he has been reused. Ratchet and Clank, 2002. Who's the villain there? Drake. Okay. Ratchet and Clank Going Commando. Who's the villain? Quark. Okay. Ratchet and Clank Up Your Arsenal. Who's the villain? Nefarious. You see what I mean? Ratchet Deadlocked. Vox. Going Mobile. The guy from the Clank, Secret Agent Clank. Size matters. Who's the villain there? Otto. Tools of Destruction. And that little guy, I don't know his name. Secret Agent Clank. Clunk is the villain. Quest for Booty. Slag. A Crack in Time. Nefarious. Do you see what I mean, guys? They couldn't even wait more than 5 years until they used Nefarious again. Okay, let's continue. All for One. Who's the villain there? Some purple guy. I don't know. Also, just to note, that's one of the most well-written villains yet. So they should reuse him. Okay, after that. FFA or Q-Force? Who's the villain there? The nerd guy from Rack 2. Into the Nexus? Who's the villain? Vendra and Prague? And, oh my word, I don't even want to speak of this game. Let me tell you, I make a sacrifice when I take my time talking about this game. But let's go into it. Ratchet & Clank PS4. Nefarious is a twist villain. Can't get worse than that. So as you can see, Nefarious is overused to the maximum. How can a gamer not lose his mind when he sees him again in Rift Apart? It's crazy how desperate Insomniac is. And this is another reason I think they have just run out of ideas. Pattern recognition. And people are saying, but he's not the main villain. When has Ratchet & Clank ever done a twist villain? Let me hear it. You might say, Ratchet & Clank going commando? Sure, I'll give you that. Maybe you say size matters? Sure, I'll give you that. Maybe you say a Crack in Time? Sure, I'll give you that. Maybe you'll say All for One? Sure, I'll give you that. Or maybe you'll say Ratchet and Clank PS4? Sure, I'll give you that. But other than that, has there ever been another villain than the one they present in the beginning? Let me say again. Pattern recognition. It's just going to be Nefarious, guys. Don't be stupid. Be smart like me. I have a master's degree. You can trust me. And not to mention the weapons. They look so boring. It's just the same thing over and over again. Like, we have seen this in Todd. I don't need to see it again. I'm quite bored of this stuff. It's nothing new to the table. Like, do you remember the original games where you had like a machine gun in every game with small variations? Like, that was, oh my word, that was so, let's not forget the rocket launcher, the decoy glove, and a classic like the turret gun, like the bouncer, like the rhino. You have so much like varied gameplay. It's crazy how they just went with the boring Todd route, where you have the same, except, All for One. All for One, it introduced new stuff. Like the same old boring rhino. What do you have in All for One? Let's remind ourselves. It's a mecha suit. How awesome isn't that? Or let's take the blitzer guns. You go forward with the boxing glove. It's so awesome. Or like the plasma whip. Instead of being like boring whip, it's a stun whip. Like, it's so crazy. They had it in the original, they lost it in Todd and Ace, and then they got it back in All for One. But then they just dropped the ball, and it's just, we're just going back to Rack PS4. So it's so crazy to me. Like, they had so good potential, and it just reminds me that Insomniac is out of ideas. Like, there's nothing new to bring to the table. Like, the peak was on All for One. That's when it evolved to the next level with weapon gameplay. And what are we left with now? And let's not forget to discuss how extremely bad the dialogue has been so far in the trailers. Like, I couldn't believe it. Like, they looked at Ratchet & Clank PS4 and thought, oh yeah, this is a good dialogue. And they brought it back. Like, oh my, just listen to these examples.
How do I steer this thing? Ask nicely. Slow down, please. And nice work, Secret Agent Zircon.
Don't listen to him, Bolts. If you're broken, so am I. And I think we're pretty awesome.
Like, have you heard a single innuendo sex joke yet? Like, what am I supposed to laugh at? Are you stupid? Like, And that's the thing. Like, I need to show you like what peak writing is, and you'll understand my point.
Hey!
So I mean, this is the thing. They want to do do this for like 2-year-olds. I'm 35. I'm not 2 years old. I want to laugh as well. Discrimination against older people. Like, that's so crazy. Where is the good humor that we had in the original games? And All for One, to note. Like, raunchy humor. I love that. I love that. That's what made Ratchet and Clank. And now they're going for this feel-goodsy stuff. I hate to feel good. Like, cringe, man. Stop with that. We need to go back to raunchy. That's the good stuff. And let me say, when I saw Rivet for the first time, my warning signals went all over the place because there's this dangerous trend in gaming where you take a male character, throw them to the side, and shove in a women character. I mean, let's be honest, I want to be wrong on this, but it's basically a fact at this point. Rivet is going to be the main character going forward in the Ratchet and Clank games. I mean, I'm sure they're going to make Ratchet from this alpha male in 2002 to a beta male in this game, and you're mostly just going to play Rivet. And let me just say, in the end, Ratchet is going to be like, yo, I'm a horrible person, I'm a guy, I'm bad. Rivet, you take Clank instead. Because that's the agenda of today. We have to look out for each other's gamers, because if we let them have this, what else is going to stop them? I'll be the first one to say it. If the next game comes out and says Rivet and Clank, I'm not gonna buy it. I'm going to boycott Insomniac, because we gamers, we have to look out for each other. We need to show what happens when you rage the game. And you guys know me, right? You know me. Don't kid yourself. You know me. I'm always gonna tell as it is. I have no blind loyalty to any corporation. The only loyalty I have is to sexy, thick fish. Oh my lord. And let me just say, I hope I'm right about every single thing I say in this video. Because, in my opinion, this series should have ended at All for One. That's when they reached their peak. Every other game after that is just gonna trash the image people have of Ratchet and Clank after playing All for One. So, let me just say it again. I hope this video ages like fine wine.